Hi, I'm Susan Chaney, editor of DogChannel.com and Dog Fancy magazine. With us here from Wyoming today is Ted Kerasote, outdoorsman, writer, and author of Merle's Door, Lessons from a Freethinking Dog. Thank you for being with us here today, Ted.
Thanks so much for having me, Susan.
So Ted, you're a National Outdoor Book Award winner for your book Out There, and you're a writer for Audubon, Outside, and National Geographic Traveler. Why a dog book?
I was freelancing quite a bit when Merle and I were together and was looking at a way to get out of the freelance magazine industry. I had been writing books, and Out There won the National Outdoor Book Award. I was trying to find a follow-up book about it, and when Merle started to wane in his last year, the thought occurred to me that I should write something about his life. He was such a remarkable being, much less a dog. So after he died, I just set my mind to writing and remembering all the things we did together. And it had also occurred to me when I was reading dog books that I really disagreed with a lot of the notions about dog training. So this was my opportunity to not only remember Merle, but also weigh in on the dog training world.
So what kind of reaction did you get from your fellow outdoor writers when you told them that you were going to be writing a book about your dog?
Can't wait to read it. They had known Merle. Some of them had hunted with him, skied with him, run rivers with him. They knew that here was this very unusual dog who got to lead a sort of adventurous life in the outdoors that few humans enjoyed. So they wanted to read about his experiences, the remarkable adventures he had had, and they also wanted to hear what I had to say about dog training.
How was it that you and Merle got attached when you were on this river camping trip? Did you bribe him with food, or how did that come about?
As I mentioned in the opening of the book, 5 friends and I were going to run the San Juan River in southern Utah, and we pulled up there to the Put-in by Bluff, Utah, 11:30 at night. It was dark, beautiful starry night, and in my headlights this big golden dog, panting, appeared, his front paws tapping the ground in an anxious little dance. And we were in 2 cars, and we opened the doors, and he came right up to my door after doing this search pattern that dogs do with their noses in the air, and he sniffed my bare thigh, and his face took on this look of luminous appreciation, and it was then that his eyes lit up with that message of, you need a dog, and I'm it.
So did you have any doubts that you would take this dog home with you?
Yes, as I said in the book, I was looking for a puppy for that whole past year. I'd looked at litters of Samoyeds, looked at litters of Labradors, knowing that a really robust, energetic dog could share my life in the outdoors. No pup had given me that undeniable heart tug that said, we're a team. So Merle appears, and as you can tell, he was a very pretty dog. He was quite a handsome guy, but I was wondering about his pedigree. Was this part Rhodesian Ridgeback with a yellow lap, coonhound? And who was this dog out there looking kind of scruffy and undernourished, obviously making his living on his own in the desert at about 10 months old? So I had my doubts, but he dug a nest right by my sleeping bag, looked me in the eye before we went to bed, and he was looking me in the eye when we woke up, and he endeared himself to me right away. He seemed competent and finished. He knew about the outdoors, and I gave him some elk sausage that I was frying up for breakfast, and I think that sealed the deal.
What do you feel like the most profound thing was that Merle taught you during his time with you?
Merle had his own dog door. He could come and go as he wished. That's the door of the title, as well as the door that he opened into my heart and into the mind of dogs. Watching him come and go as he wished, being an independent dog in Kelly, choosing to accompany me sometimes, but if he had something better to do, going off on his own, it really showed me that my dog, and I think other dogs, learn best when our authority is lessened, and that we don't have to be strong alphas over our dogs, and that they do have preferences. They are beings who know what they want, and at some point, if we really love our partner, whether it's canid or human, you have to say that partner knows more about what makes him or her happy than I do. And if you're mature about that and you love that partner, you step back and just let that partner be.
What is it that you hope readers will take away from this book after having read it?
Dogs aren't goldfish. A lot of us live with our dogs in suburban and urban places. Here's this dog who's genetically, psychologically still a gray wolf. Gray wolves run outside all the time. They get their noses in the ground. That's how they learn about the books of their world, as I call them. Dogs need the same thing. All of us can't give our dogs the kind of life Merle enjoyed in rural Kelly, Wyoming, but we may wish to think that if we're going to be partnered with a dog, we really need to get it out there for more than a 10-minute walk on a leash twice a day. It needs an hour of free running time in a park that has off-leash hours so it can meet other dogs face to face without its human being jerking it on the leash. It can get its nose in the ground and it can run at its own wolfish pace. That's what I hope people take away from this, that dogs simply need a little bit more freedom.
Well, I'm afraid we're out of time now, Ted, but thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me, Susan.
And thank you for joining us on Dog Channel as we spoke with Ted Kerasote, author of Merle's Door, Lessons from a Freethinking Dog, published by Harcourt. Be sure and come back to the Dog Channel and watch some of our other interviews with authors whose books help us all to make the most of our lives with our beloved canine companions.